Hello. Greetings from upstate New York. I don't know technically if it's upstate. The DMV, I think, might disagree with me, but people who live in the city say it's upstate. So happy March. It's almost springtime. We're gonna change the clocks here soon on Sunday. And I wanted to do this video outside today because it's so beautiful. I'm near the mountains. I'm dog sitting this week here in this very beautiful setting, and I love the sun. If I were a plant, I would probably be a flower. That's actually my constitutional remedy, is pulsatilla, which is a flower. You can look up homeopathy if you want to learn more about that. So I still have that interview to come for you with Theo Hansen on pain management, and I wanted to share some tidbits that I found while working on that recently. And Theo talks about 4 main components of managing pain. The first being food, second being rest, the third having safety, like a loving, supportive community around you, and then the fourth, which is one of Theo's favorites, is acupuncture. And he brought up 3 reasons why we can experience pain. One being stress, another fear, and another isolation. So it's pretty simple stuff, but very powerful. I tell him that I believe he's an expert in this area, and it's basic, but it's not just basic, it's foundational, because without these things, our lives and our health can crumble. So I wanted to share a couple things personally to hopefully encourage you. And I have a couple notes here. So just sharing from experience with food. I've already talked to you guys recently about this, about pretty bad tooth pain that I had recently. And that was partly connected to what I was eating, and other things like that, and also stress. That's the worst pain that I've experienced recently in the last couple of months. And then after food is rest. Something that I started doing that was not really good for me probably around November was drinking a lot of coffee to help me be more productive, get more done during the day. But I was also very lacking in sleep because of that. And I found myself falling asleep while driving at like 6 p.m., which is really bad. So eventually I stopped, and my productivity level did decrease. But at least I'm alive, right? So better to be alive and moving more slowly than you'd like than to be moving more quickly, but also potentially getting sick or truthfully risking your life. And then safety. So we should I find my safety in God first, because I know that God is the giver of all good things. But the way God provides that, or oftentimes the way that I experience it, is through people. And he did not create us to live on an island, but in community. And for me, sometimes it changes, like the people change. If maybe somebody's going through something and they're not able to be around, then I'm not going to be able to find support in that person. So it's maybe not a steady thing, but having a loving community of friends is very helpful. And one interesting, I guess, thing about that is I have a friend who reaches out sometimes, or oftentimes. She and I have a lot in common. She's a registered dietitian in Mississippi in an oncology outpatient clinic, which is associated with a hospital. And she's doing great work, by the way, and seeing awesome results with her prostate cancer patients, helping them with their diet and their blood markers are improving, so that's so cool. And so sometimes when she reaches out, I'm hesitant to respond, or I'm like, oh, like I really shouldn't need support right now if I were doing the right things or all the right things. But at the same time, sometimes I realize it's God's grace being extended to me, because I need to show up somewhere, and showing up somewhere is better than showing up nowhere. God loves us too much to leave us alone. That's how I see that. And also with, I had neck pain recently also after, actually I think I had reached into I was at a stoplight. I have my foot on the brake and I reached to the back to my juicer, my bag with my juicer in it, because I needed to get something from it, and I strained my neck on the left side, and then I think something else happened. I can't remember what, but then I woke up 2 days later with pretty bad pain on the right side of my neck, and then I ended up going to my chiropractor, and that was very helpful to have the pain decreased a bit. Which actually brings us to our next point. Theo loves acupuncture, that's his favorite. I did, acupuncture once, but it was not really my jam. I did not find it very comforting or helpful. But also I might have gone into it for the wrong reasons, because I was getting radiation at the time and I didn't really even know what it could help with, or I probably also just didn't believe in it at the time. And I have things that are more accessible and that I've found more helpful, so I haven't sought it out recently, but I know people who love it and they've found huge benefits from it. And so it could be something that you can try yourself. And Thea also recommends, if you haven't found, like acupuncturists can vary in their practices. So if you haven't found one that you like yet, then just keep trying, keep looking, and you should be able to find one. Okay. That was a neighbor friend. Okay, so for me, chiropractic has been wonderful. My chiropractor, Dr. Paul, Pastor Paul, is an elder and pastor at my church, and he's wonderful, and he's like a counselor. He and his wife, they make a great team, and I'm so grateful for them, and I love them. But also massage for me has been very helpful as well. About a year ago, I got injured swinging my niece around, and my clavicle suddenly became very painful, and I ended up going to the emergency room, and I got x-rays, and thankfully I was fine. Well, not really fine, but there were no breaks. Nothing that they could find wrong on the x-ray. And so after that, about a month later, I ended up getting a massage. I was lying on my back on a table, and it was at a Christian retreat for women, and the woman massaging me started to like pray over me and talk about the areas that she was massaging, and she talked about how our chest and shoulders, if we are hunched over, maybe we're trying to protect ourselves from something, and the tears just started streaming down my face, and it was very therapeutic physically and emotionally, because also on a massage table you're very vulnerable and exposed. So that was kind of like the start of a rebuilding and strengthening thing for me, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and physically. And then I later on got some more massage from a masseuse friend. We exchanged services, and then I started stretching on my own, And I remember being on my back with my body in the shape of a cross on this pillow. And I remember, like, I can picture it in my mind. And I was listening to healing scriptures on YouTube, and again was crying because it's a very vulnerable position to be in. And I knew that God wanted more from me, to show up more. And it was just a hard thing to experience and think about. And then after that, or since then, my gym I started going to a gym around here recently. I have a modified membership, and there's a class where it's like all stretching, and you hold the stretching poses for a few minutes at a time. And I started crying again. Do you sense a theme here? Can you pick it up? And again, it was about showing up and coming into the light and being present for people. And it can be really hard to work through pain, because I still have to, like, that's one of the reasons I go to that stretching class, or the main reason, is because I still struggle with like my mobility and my clavicle and shoulder on this side and the other side too. But it's connected to my mind and emotions. So I wonder if there's anything that comes up for you as I share about my experiences. I don't know what it is for you, but also I can keep sharing. I've had more pain recently. So I had my clavicle last year, I had my teeth and gums this year, and then I had my neck after that, and then I broke my finger Tuesday. I was walking a couple of dogs, and one thing that Theo said in his talk was how God has his hand in our lives in everything, and sometimes we need pain to get our attention, to get us to change. And God maybe wants to use the pain to get our attention and kind of break us down before he can build us back up. And so that we'll make some changes. And so I thought about, what could this mean for me? Maybe it's because part of why I'm motivated to do dog walking is for exercise. And maybe that's something that I've valued too much over other important things and people. And then same with like pursuing money in a way, I guess, and for my own self, for my comfort. And that's maybe not the best way to approach that work. So anyway, I have a couple different tangents I can take with this. One being that I have not told my parents yet about my finger breaking and my surgery, which is tomorrow, to fix it. And one reason is that I know my dad struggles a lot with stress, and that's why he ends up in pain sometimes. And I don't want him to experience that because of me. So, and that's why I haven't told my mom as well, because I don't want her to know about it and not be able to tell my dad, or know about it and tell my dad. My mom tolerates it better, but she also struggles, with decisions that I've made about my life and career. And she still wants me to become a teacher, which I'm never going to do. I'm never going to be a New York City teacher like her. I mean, unless God really does a huge change in my life, I don't think I ever will do that. And that kind of is connected also to the love and support theme of where you find your safety and supporters. And another tangent from that, oh, well, also connected to that is that I hope and pray that by me not sharing with my parents, that first it will help them to, trust God with my life and know that God will take care of me and they don't need to worry about me so much, even though I know they will, but hopefully they will a little bit less because of this. And second of all, it will help me continue growing in my faith that God will always take care of me, and I don't have to have, or not even specifically my parents, but I don't need a certain person or people in my life to find my hope and support, but that God is the one who will provide it through whomever he chooses. And sometimes it is through my parents, and I love them very much, and I want them to be around and an active part of my life, but sometimes it has to be in a different capacity, and that's okay. Oh, there's one other thing about discouragement, but he put it a different way. It's not grief either, but the thing being having like a negative attitude or discouraged feelings. And this is something that Dr. Diana Wright talked about in a presentation she gave that I heard once that I'd like to share with you sometime, about our energy and frequency and the voltage, actually. She was specifically talking about voltage, which is so interesting, how our emotions can affect our voltage, like literally the electric charge of our bodies, and how positive emotions increase our voltage, which increases our health and our immunity, and negative emotions decrease our voltage and immunity or the strength of our immune system. And I know that I can be positive and hopeful and encouraged for a certain amount of time, and then sometimes I give up, or I get discouraged and stop trusting and become impatient or something. And then like this last weekend, I ended up getting sick, I think because of that very reason, and I'm still fighting off a cold. You may be able to hear it in my voice. So those pillars, the food, the rest, the safety and a safe community, and possibly the other healing modalities like acupuncture, massage, chiropractic, and stretching, those can all be helpful to our mood and our pain. So I hope you found some benefit from this video, and part of the reason why I did this video is because I couldn't type or it became difficult because of my finger. So maybe I can be that friend today for you. And I do want to remind you, as I always tell my nephews and my niece, that though I love and care about you, and I wish I would do a better job, I'm going to fail you. But God will never fail you. He loves you best, and he loves you perfectly. And if you've Jesus in your heart, then you are his child, and he will take care of you as a perfect, loving Heavenly Father. And there's no better person to have taking care of you. So have a great day. I hope you enjoy some sunshine. It's been a while since we've had much sun here, so I wanted to get out and enjoy the sun, and then I was like, this will be a great spot for a video. So I hope to talk to you soon, and God bless. Bye.